About 100 detainees at Delaney drafted and signed on to a collective letter telling us what's going on there. And I want to take some time, because they spent the time on this and they're going through hell right now, to read this letter. And I ask you all to stay with me because there are things in here that I think we all need to hear. So here we go. By means of the president, we take the liberty of providing an account of the situation that thousands of immigrants are living in detention centers. In this case, we speak directly of Delaney Hall, New Jersey. Initially, we asked for forgiveness for the way we entered the United States, but given the circumstances we were living in our countries, which placed our lives and those of some members of our families in danger. At the moment of entry, we turned ourselves into the border authorities, who processed us, and some of us were granted parole or given a court date to continue with our processes, in accordance with the opportunity granted to us by the Constitution and the laws of the United States. Likewise, we had periodic check-ins in order to report to the authorities. We also obtained work permits, Social Security, we filed taxes, and we were working legally and contributing to the country's economy. We must also mention that within this group, there are individuals who crossed the border, integrated into society, formed families, and have lived in this country for 10 years or more with their children, with their citizen children, who, despite not having legal status, have also been paying their annual taxes and have a clean record. We find individuals from the LGBTQ plus community with diagnoses of illnesses such as HIV, cancer, diabetes, heart problems, among others, who are not receiving proper medical attention for the aforementioned conditions. We know that ICE agents have orders to arrest immigrants, but in our cases, we had already been processed. We were complying with legal requirements, and there was no order from a judge for our detention or arrest, since from our entry we received a procedural benefit. However, ICE officers did not take into account the fact that there was already an immigration court date, and they arrested us during check-in appointments at USCIS facilities. Even with credible fear approved, we have been subjected to court proceedings where attorneys are afraid to represent us, because they state that there is a presidential order to deport as many people as possible without reviewing each case individually, where judges are denying a high number of cases, dismissing them. There are days where judges, list some of the names here, Chen Shana W., Hawks Joshua, and Ramin Rastagab, probably butchered those names, but that's what it says, have more than 40 hearings to review and study how due process should be applied. Yet within minutes, they make final decisions issuing deportations and expulsions. Many hearings are canceled, leaving detainees waiting months for a court date. In the same way, prosecutors file motions to send individuals to Latin American countries, such as Ecuador, Guatemala, Honduras, and even Uganda in Africa, countries with equal or worse conditions of violence and persecutions from which we are fleeing. Even individuals from those same countries are currently on U.S. soil seeking safety and protection so they may continue defending their immigration cases. This has led many people under pressure to accept and sign voluntary departure to their countries of origin at the expense of the danger to which they may be exposed. In these courts, judges inform the detainee that they can purchase a plane ticket to return to their country of origin, but the ICE officer denies that possibility, evidencing contradictions among government officials themselves. Likewise, there are cases of individuals who already have their voluntary departure signed and deportation approved by judges, waiting 2 or 3 months to be sent to their country of origin. We feel vulnerable and, in a way, kidnapped, detained without justification, not to mention that we are being tortured physically and psychologically due to the poor food resources provided in these detention centers. We see with deep helplessness and frustration that our due process rights and defense have been violated, disregarding benefits granted under the 4th, 5th, and 6th Amendments of the United States Constitution. Families are being destroyed and separated, where there are children, nieces, and minors who are suffering a very strong psychological impact because they do not understand the situation, and in some cases, they have witnessed the arrest of their relatives who have been struck by tragedy and the economic burden, since in most cases we are the heads of household. It is public knowledge that agents have arrested individuals with physical limitations such as deaf, mute, blind individuals, elderly persons, and even pregnant women. We see young people with approved juvenile status cases with whom we are living in detention centers. There is also a high spread of COVID-19 in detention centers, and the flu is constant among detainees, which could lead to outbreaks of illnesses or epidemics. In addition to the above, in certain courts, we do not have interpreters or translators, as was the case of, and this is blocked out, one name, who in his court had a motion for Ecuador by the judge since the court did not have a translator or interpreter. We are certain that we are not being processed equally under immigration laws and the Constitution. We have seen fellow detainees with residency, U visas, T visas, among other similar cases. We have seen judges in this detention center who are ready to carry out deportations and mass expulsions without properly reviewing cases. We live with anguish and fear of appearing in court. We are witnessing how judges are disregarding decisions of federal judges. For example, not honoring habeas corpus rulings decided by a federal judge, depriving us of our liberty. Judges Chen Shana W., Hawks Joshua, and Ramin Rastegar accuse us of being a danger to the United States of America, or alternatively, declare that we will flee from immigration agencies even though they have adequate monitoring tools such as GPS ankle monitors and constant check-ins at immigration offices. There are individuals who have been detained for 5 months or more who have been denied bond more than once despite having a clean record and an approved habeas corpus. We sincerely and earnestly ask for help from senators, Congress members, foundations, and organizations that collaborate with immigrants. Our American dream is the safety and protection of our families. We are in a difficult situation, and we trust in God and believe that justice will be done under the law of the United States of America, since it is a sovereign and constitutional country respected worldwide for upholding human rights. Maybe we were at one point. On the following pages are the signatures of the detainees who certify what is written, and they're all signed there. This is obviously hard to hear, and I think that if you have any sense of humanity inside of you, that this would affect you in some way, and something needs to be done.